Coming up, Fort Lee celebrates National Night Out. More than 400 cyclists came out for this year's Tour de Fort Lee. And the 88-year-old tradition continues. The St. Rocco Feast never disappoints. Hi, I'm Linda McHugh. Welcome to this month's edition of Fort Lee Today on Demand. On the first Tuesday in August, communities across the country celebrate National Night Out, an event which began in 1984 to help police and communities come together to help fight crime in their neighborhoods. Now, this was Fort Lee's second year taking part in this national event, and I think it's safe to say very few towns celebrate the way Fort Lee does.
It was started so that to fight crime, so that if neighbors knew each other and they knew the police, they were all working together. Fort Lee, we don't really have much of that problem, so we just have a big party and called it Fort Lee Night Out, and we just made an event where we just get to know our cops better and we get to meet our neighbors and just have a good old time.
We always look for excuses to get together. We have thousands of people. It's just a message that your town is protected and just to remind everybody about how good our resources are.
It's a community event where the department and all the emergency services of the borough come together to showcase some of their equipment. The union of the police department helps organize it, and it's a family event for everybody to come out and enjoy themselves and get to see some of the equipment that they normally wouldn't get to see on a daily basis.
Did you meet any of the police officers tonight?
Yes. One of them are right there that I just met right now.
What'd you think of that?
That was awesome.
So what do you think of tonight's event?
It's very nice, and I had a lot of fun.
Did you go on the rides?
Yeah.
Was that fun? Other towns do Night Out. It's a national event, but it doesn't seem like many people do it like this.
No, I don't think many other towns can compare it to the event we pull off here.
People always ask me what's the best thing that's happened to Fort Lee in the last few years, and I can tell you the enthusiasm level has increased. We used to do things where 50 people would show up. Now we're doing things there's 4,000 people showing up. And wait till you see the foam. It's an event, the fear on parents' eyes, but we do eventually find all the children.
When Fort Lee does something, we go Fort Lee, go big or go home.
What started out as a 12-mile leisurely bike ride through the streets of Fort Lee has now transformed into a high-speed, high-intensity criterion or crit race. The Tour de Fort Lee attracts cyclists from throughout the tri-state area and is now the Fort Lee Education Association's largest fundraiser.
We have the George Washington Bridge, which brings cyclists from Manhattan coming across that bridge every weekend. They stream across. Ironman New York, which was here several years ago, began and ended in Fort Lee. Grand Fondo, New York, which is a ride that has about 5,000 riders in it, begins and ends in Fort Lee. So Fort Lee has this bike culture.
We thought it would be a good fundraising opportunity. So obviously, here we are. We have probably one of the best crit race locations in all of New Jersey.
Criterium, or crit as we call it, is a lap race. It goes round and around and very competitive, very fun to watch.
We take it really seriously. Bike racing, for a lot of us, started at a young age. Normal bikes range anywhere from $1,500 to a bike like this one, which is $13,000. So, and a lot of the guys that you see racing today will have this priority, but don't get discouraged. You could start with a standard racing bike, and you could be doing exactly what these guys are doing.
It's very smooth, corners are swept well. You have a good downhill and a good uphill, which spreads out the pack, tight corners, and very well marshaled, a lot of barriers. I felt totally safe. You know, you don't really get that with many courses. We
hit about 40 miles an hour in the backstretch. So it's pretty fast, very fast.
This is my third year doing it. I like the course, pretty fast, but I think the hill is probably the delineator in this race, so it keeps it safe.
Now we're partnering with CRCA, which is the oldest racing club in the United States of America. And they are bringing us their membership as well to race. They're basically from Manhattan. It's going to keep on going all day. It's a 6-hour event, so if you get to stop by next year, because obviously you're watching this, please stop by and watch. It's a great spectator sport.
We raise money for scholarships for Fort Lee High School students. That's our sole purpose of being.
I was a senior at Fort Lee High School, and I received a scholarship to go to the College of New Jersey. And today I'm now giving back by helping out with water. I'm doing it because I want to give back. A lot of these people have helped me, not only with the scholarship, but with the job I have too. I help out with the kids at the town camp, so I'm trying to give back to them and a lot of people here who have helped me.
It's a tradition that started 88 years ago, and it's still going strong. As kids, we counted the days until the St. Rocco Feast rolled into town. Today, as adults, many of us still look forward to the sights and smells of the feast. But this year, I had a chance to talk to the members of the St. Rocco Society to learn a little more about the tradition of the feast and how the society was established back in 1927 to help those in need.
A group of immigrants from the Reggio province of Calabria in southern Italy, and the immigrants came here, and this society was the anchor. You know, this is where they came for help. This is where it was a community, and this is where we maintained, or they maintained and continued their Italian Catholic traditions of honoring their patron, St. Rocco.
He sacrificed his body to help cure the bubonic plague. So in that spirit, we continue. The society raises money. This is our big fundraiser, and we donate money to different various organizations in the spirit of St. Rocco.
It's not about food, rights, game. You know, this is just a small part of what we do. You know, we try to help people in need, and that's what St. Rocco did.
We help out cancer victims. We've helped out children that have had heart problems. We help out the police department, ambulance corps. So our philosophy is, you know, we're small, we try to do our best, and we look in our backyard first.
What we do is we march the saints through Fort Lee. We have a route, and it's actually an historic route.
I'm happy I attended. As a proud Italian American, it was quite a turnout. I did walk the whole parade route. Very different than most other parades that I'm at. I like the idea of the personal touch, stopping at private homes and paying some respect to, I think, some people that may have passed at a younger age. I think that's pretty nice.
It's nice to keep the Italian-American tradition alive in Fort Lee.
That wraps up our show for August. We'll see you again next time.